Thanks for stopping in today to see what I'm up to. And what I'm up to today is making a wreath. How unusual, but it's a little bit different. Just a couple of weeks ago, somebody requested a special order for a sunflower wreath. She had seen one, I think, on Facebook. Probably saw one from someone who knew what they were doing when they make the sunflower wreath. But at any rate, she asked if I could make her one. And I said yes, so that's what we're going to do today. It's a pretty wreath, and I'm going to follow a tutorial that came from Julie's Wreath Boutique. Sorry, let me say that again. Julie's Wreath Boutique. And you will see a link to her channel down in the description. And as if you followed me for a while, you know that's not my usual material and kind of wreath that I make. And so this is basically only the third time in my life I've ever made one. But if we don't challenge ourselves, we never know whether we can complete a project. So without any further ado, we're going to move downstairs. I've done this in several parts so that I could stop and go and not have you watch the whole process. And I will be doing a voiceover on part of it because I have the fan on and a mask on while I'm cutting the poly burlap. So we'll be right back. Hang in there. See ya. Okay, here we are down at the desk, and first we're going to do some prep, and I'll do this a little bit with you now, and then some of it I'm going to film without talking because the fan will be going and I will be wearing a mask when I cut the mesh. So I'm doing the sunflower today. This is the center I'm going to use. I got this from craftoutlet.com, and we need to get this center ready. And it's a messy piece. So what I'm going to do is attach, get rid of this little sign here. I'm going to attach some pipe cleaners to the back of this so that I'll be able to put it down through the center of the wreath. And I'm going to use glue and some of these florist's pins. So I'm going to kind of make like an X, okay, with the pipe cleaners. I'll see if my glue is warm enough to use yet. Oh, it is a little bit. We can get a little glob here in the middle. And we'll just kind of put the pipe cleaners in an X kind of shape. And I'm going to try not to burn myself while doing this. I have to get some of those silicone fingers, but that's pretty well. And what I'm going to do is to take, I'll put a little glue on this pin, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go in the other way. Oh, I've got them out already, sorry. I need a little help to push this one in. There we go. And then we'll put two in the other direction. I'm putting them in on an angle. This is a fairly dimensional piece, but I still don't want anything to come through the other side. Okay, we're good here. And we're good here. So now I'm just going to go around a little bit with this hot glue. Go over the tops of these. And we'll put that off to the side to dry. Sorry, I was just unplugging the glue gun. Okay, so we're just going to put this off to the side to dry. The other thing that I've already done is this is the 10-inch form that I'm going to use, and I've already put a piece of this plastic canvas in the middle, and that's to give me something to put my last row of petals on. And all I did was lay this on the canvas and take a Sharpie, outline it, cut it off, and then I have attached it on the back of the frame with 4 zip ties. Okay, so those two things. This is the mesh I'm going to be using. This is a Poly Burlap, 10 yards, 10 inches wide. This is green. This will be for some leaves. And this is, I call it yellow. It really, to me, looks like a goldish yellow. If I put this yellow next to, say, this yellow, you can see the difference. So those are the two. The next thing I'm going to do is to cut these. I'm going to cut the yellow in 10-inch squares, and I'm going to cut the green in probably 11-inch. And that's because I want the leaves to stick out a little further than the flower. So I'll be back in just a couple of minutes, and I'll show you the cutting. Okay, here we are getting ready to cut the mesh. This is the green that I'm going to cut at 11 inches. I am using a glass cheese board actually to serve as a glass piece to put the hot wood burner on. I'm going to be cutting 5 of these. What I'm doing, and I guess you can't see the numbers here, the right hand side is being lined up at 21, and the left hand side, there's a mark on that board that shows me where the 10 is, so I'm cutting from 10 to 21 or 11 inches. And I don't know if you can see, I'm going to zoom in, and I'm not sure if I do it on this one or on the yellow. But what I'm doing is attempting to go in between the lines of the weave. And that gives me an area on both sides that don't have so much fray potential. And sometimes those are hard to stay between, and you go from one and maybe skip over to another. I did that a couple of times. Or it just doesn't go in a straight line, but it works out just fine. It's a little bit slow. Okay, now I'm going to do the yellow. What I'm doing in the beginning is just trying to get a smooth edge on it, because you can see the edge that's there now is got a lot of gravel on it. So I'm just trying to get rid of that little piece and start with a cleaner edge. Okay, I'm going to, I believe, zoom in here in a minute, and so you can get a better view of the line that I'm trying to follow. I'm not going to do too many more of these on camera. Once you've seen me cut this mesh, you've seen me cut this mesh. So let me just see. I just want to see if I'm going to zoom in. Okay, here we are back. I'm going to just see if I can get you zoomed in just a little bit. Okay. I'm all out of my white lawn zip ties, so I'm going to be using black, which is not what anybody ever uses, but they don't show, so it shouldn't make any difference. I'm going to start by putting 2 petals in the middle of each section. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. This is a 10-inch frame that I got from Craft Outlet. So I'm going to put 2 in the middle of each section, and then 1 on each crossbar in each section, all the way around. And petal fold is the usual petal fold. You're just going to meet in the middle, scrunch it up, fold it, and this time I'm folding so that one petal is a little bit overlapping the other. Okay? I'm using the second ring, and I'm just going to put it on. And zip tie it. Now, and of course the very first zip tie I have on backwards. Okay. Now this is awkward, a little bit awkward for me, because I am not used to using the zip ties as much as I used Chanel stems, but I think after a bit it'll get a little easier. This is actually following a tutorial from Julie's Wreath Boutique, and I will link her channel down below. Turn it over, turn it, overlap them just a little bit, give it a pinch, and put it on the frame. She does magnificent wreaths and all kinds of different flowers. This is not, as you, if you've been watching my channel for a while, this is not my normal kind of wreath. I am usually working with deco mesh, but I had an order to make one, so we'll give it a shot. And if, you know, it's a little nerve-wracking because somebody is ordering this and planning to pay for it. But here's what I think. You do the best you can, and if it comes out not worth being paid for, then I won't charge her for it. But I think it'll be fine. You always have to get out of that comfort zone sometimes. Okay. Let me get one on this one. Corner to corner, scrunch it up, turn it, fold it so that one is on top of the other, and give it a squeeze at the bottom. Put it in your zip tie. It's easier said than done. Put it in there, little puppy. Okay, so that's one section. Two in the middle and one on each crossbar. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish the other sections around, and I'll be back when I've got the first row all on. See you in a bit. Okay, here you are, and it's gone all the way around. I have 15 petals on the bottom layer, and it wasn't too difficult actually working with these zip ties. So now I'm going to start my next layer. I'm going to use the innermost ring, and I'm going to put 3 in each section. This is the one that's on the crossbar. I'm going to go in between that one and the next one on this side. Then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go in between this crossbar and that one on this side, and then I'll put one in the middle of the two. And again, I'll show you the fold. Gets a little harder to see the whole thing when it's gets big like that. I'm going up the middle, turn it over, pinch it up together, and have one side slightly overlapping the other. Okay? Now I'm going to take, here's my crossbar, I'm going to go in between the crossbar and the one next to it. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same fold again. Fold them up, overlap, pinch the bottom. Here's the other crossbar. Here's the one next to it. I'm going in between the two of them. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go in between, and then that'll make this one sit on top of the ones that I've just put in. Well, it's a little difficult to get your fingers in there and get this zip tie, I can see that. Oop. Now I lost the other half of it. There we go. There you go. That gives it some nice dimension. So again, we'll do, here's the crossbar. I will do one on this side, I will do one on this side, and then I will do one in the middle. So I'll be back after I get the second row on. Okay, I have the second row on, and it's looking really nice actually. Now what I'm doing now is I'm putting some of the zip ties through this center mesh about 3/4 of an inch or an inch in, and I'll show you. I'm just because I find now Julie doesn't do it this way. She does it each one individually, but I just kind of find, for me, working with these things, it's easiest if I can see them up front. So what I'm going to do now is to make one last row, and I don't know exactly how many it will take. It will take until it fills up the middle. So I've made my petal, and I'm going to use this zip tie right here. Okay, I'll do one more, making my petal, corner to corner, scrunch it up, tip it over, bend it in half, overlapping one over the other. Okay, I have two more in there already, so we'll do two more, and then I will finish off camera, because I think I might have to cut, I will have to cut, I only have one left. I will have to cut just a few more from the second row in order to complete this. Second roll, excuse me. So we get this last one in. So I got 33 from the first roll, which is pretty good. So there you go. I'm going to continue around and see how many more I will need. I think I'll probably cut maybe 5 more. So I'll be back when I get this last row in, and we'll work on the middle. Be right back. Okay, I finished the inside. I'm going to just put some leaves on now, and I'm going to put 5 leaves, one on each of the crossbars. I'm using the same fold, but what I'm going to do when I put it on the crossbar is to put it upside down, because, and I'm going to use the outside ring, and that is because you want the good side facing up when I turn the wreath over. And these I cut at 11 because I wanted them to be a little longer than the yellow so that they would show. I have the wreath flower sitting on a big Christmas ribbon bolt so that the petals are not being flattened. Now when I am completely done with this, and I don't have it right yet, but when I am completely done with this, I will put a piece of felt on the back so this will all look pretty. And I'm just pushing these over so they're not sticking out. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we used 11. And you see, you can just have a little subtle green for the leaves. Okay, so now we'll bring our center back. And this is all nice and dry. I'm going to take all the pipe cleaners, kind of get them to the middle. And I'm going to put them down through these holes in the middle. And basically all I'm going to do is twist them together, and then I can get one out to the edge here and just, let's see if I can lap it around that. Okay, like that. Okay? Okay, now get this. And there you go. So I'm going to pull out the leaves a little bit. And you have to go around afterwards, kind of separate your leaves, the petals, straighten them out. But isn't that beautiful? It's absolutely beautiful. I'm very proud. It's only the third one I've ever made in my life. So I think she'll like it. And I'm going to get you a better view of it in a minute. I'll put it up on the wall or a stand so that you can see what it really looks like. But that's how you do the sunflower. This one has a little bit of fray on it. See if I can get that maybe underneath. There we go. And you're going to get some fray. You can't not, and the simplest thing is to just, this one right here, if you can pull it off, fine. If you can't, just snip it off. I love it. Perfect. I'll be back with some closing words in just a minute. Hang in there. There you go. Before I give you some closing words, I thought I would just show you the full effect. I really think it came out beautifully. I'm very, very happy with it. And I'm going to go over this way, and you can see the dimension. And it's hard to see here in this light, but you can see the subtlety of the leaves. Right here's one. Right here's one. One up there. Such a beautiful sunflower. I know she's going to enjoy this. So I want to say thank you so much for stopping by today. And I hope I didn't keep it too long. I tried to keep this video moving, but it's kind of a timely process to do this. So anyway, thank you so much, and thanks for all of my new subscribers. I love each and every one of you, and I do try to answer any and all questions I receive. I'm excited to see my numbers growing. I'd appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up and maybe share this video if you enjoyed it. In the meantime, if you really want to see a nice tutorial and some good tutorials on other flowers, you can go over to Julie's Ruth Boutique. She's an excellent, excellent teacher, and she makes some really pretty projects. But I'm pretty proud of the one we made today. So give it a try. It's a little bit more challenging than some of the wreaths that we're used to making. But, you know, if you never try, you'll never find out whether you can do it or not. And I found out I could. So I'll talk with you later. Everybody have a wonderful afternoon, and play nice now. See you later. Bye-bye. Okay, I think you'll be able to see the lines that I'm trying to get between now. I don't have the top and the bottom end, but you'll see them when I go through the middle. You see I'm right between two lines. And that keeps both ends a little less apt to fray. We'll do one more, and then we'll call it a day.